Welcome to this Flipdish tutorial on how to set up the K2 kiosk and card reader. So let's start with unboxing. First, inspect the boxes and contents for damage. Please contact the Flipdish team at help@flipdish.com if there is any damage to the device or the boxes when they've arrived at your location. The next step is to ensure the following parts are in the boxes. You should receive a mount for the card reader, which comes in 2 pieces, 4 sets of bolts, 6 large bolts with washers, 6 medium bolts, 4 small bolts, and 3 even smaller bolts for the card reader. You should also receive 2 Allen keys, a transformer and the correct plug for its locality to power the K2, your card reader with a power cable, printer paper, the base plate, the spine of the K2, the cover guard, the base extension, and finally the K2 kiosk with Flipdish branding. A Phillips head screwdriver is also required, but is not provided. Next, place the base plate flat on the floor and line up the holes with the corresponding holes on the base extension. Use the 6 large bolts with washers to secure these 2 pieces together. First, lightly screw in the bolts by hand, and then once they are all in place, tighten them with the Allen key, a half turn at a time until fully secure. Then place the kiosk on the ground with the screen facing the floor. We recommend doing this on a carpeted floor or a rug surface to avoid damage to the kiosk screen. Remove the plastic casing at the back using the clasp, as you can see here. Then place the spine on top of the kiosk and use the small black bolts to secure the 2 pieces together. Then replace the plastic casing again and ensure it is popped back into place. Lift up the kiosk and slide it into the base extension. Ensure the back side of the kiosk and the base extension make a subtle sideways V shape. Then use the 6 medium-sized bolts to secure these pieces together. Again, hand tighten and then use the Allen key. Make sure you don't move the kiosk too much while fixing the 2 pieces together, as you don't want the kiosk to fall. Now let's connect the power cable by passing it through the hole in the front of the kiosk and then attaching it to the power port, as you can see here. Just above the power port is an Ethernet cable port should you wish to have a wired internet connection. We strongly recommend this for improved connectivity. Okay, so you can now run the power cable and the Ethernet cable, if you're using one, down to the base of the kiosk. There is a small hole here where you can run the cables out the back of the kiosk and to your wall sockets. Now you can attach the cover guard to the bottom of the kiosk. This clips in on each side, and you may have to apply some pressure so the clips catch. Okay, now let's move on to attaching the mount for your card reader to the K2 kiosk. There's usually a black cap beside the speaker on the right side of the kiosk. Please remove this using the clip to expose the 3 screw holes you can see here. Secure the card reader arm to the kiosk using the 3 bolts provided. Your next step is to then pop off the back plastic panel where you can see multiple USB ports. We can complete 2 tasks during this process. We're going to disconnect the scanner that you can see at the front of the kiosk, as it won't be used and it's covered by branding. And at the same time connect the charging cable for the card reader. So remove the leftmost USB cable. To ensure this is the right USB cable, check the front of the kiosk to make sure the red scanner light is no longer on underneath the branding. Then replace that USB cable with the card reader's USB and then replace the plastic panel. Please note the plastic panel won't go flush with the kiosk as the cable will be protruding. Slide the cradle into the arm and you will hear a click when it's in place. Then slide the card reader into the cradle and ensure the power port lines up with the hole on the side of the cradle, as you can see here. Here's a handy tip to avoid having excess charging cable hanging at the back of your kiosk. Roll up the excess cable and put it here underneath the USB ports. Okay, now let's begin the kiosk setup process. First, we need to power the kiosk on, and there are 2 power buttons that need to be pressed. The first power button can be accessed through the plastic cover at the back of the kiosk. It can be popped off, as you can see here, and you will see a button in front of you. Switch it on and replace the cover. A second power button can be found by simultaneously pressing the two buttons on either side of the front of the kiosk, and a cover door should fall forward, exposing a power switch. Switch this on as well. The screen will then power on. Then select the Start Setup button. Then select the country that the kiosk is located in and the relevant time zone. You will then have the option to select Wi-Fi or an Ethernet network. I'm going to use a Wi-Fi network for this demo, but we do suggest you use an Ethernet cable for improved connectivity. If you select Wi-Fi, you will be prompted to enter a password. Then press the Next button. Then press Start Configuration. Then press the Enter System button at the bottom of the screen. You will know the process has been successful when a 6-digit code appears on the screen. Now I'm going to hand you over to our kiosk expert Rob, who's going to show you how to connect this kiosk to your online store using the Flipdish Portal.
First, we need to visit portal.flipdish.com to continue. The first step is visit your account page, and then on the left-hand panel, we need to select Kiosks. Once we select Kiosks, we can add a new kiosk on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. We can then name the kiosk. I'm going to name it Pizza Cafe. We then select the stores we want the kiosk to be associated to. So for a single store, we just select one store. And for a multi-store kiosk, we select multiple stores. Then we enter our 6-digit PIN code, which is 987384. When I click Add Kiosk, we should see the kiosk screen connect to the store.
Okay, now let's move on to setting up the card reader and connecting it to the kiosk. Once the kiosk has been powered on and the kiosk setup has been completed, there are two ways we can connect the card reader to the kiosk. First, let's look at using the toggle settings on the device itself. This is really useful if you don't have access to the Flipdish Portal at the time, or if the card reader has disconnected and you need to quickly reconnect it. Press and hold the Flipdish logo in the bottom right-hand corner of the kiosk screen. After 5 seconds, the logo will turn black. Then swipe from the right-hand side of the kiosk to the center of the kiosk and a menu will appear. Please select Toggle Settings, which is the option in the bottom right-hand corner of the menu. Then under Integrations, click on Stripe Terminal. Then press the Start button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. You will then be asked if you would like to connect a new card reader. Click Connect Device. You will then be asked to enable Bluetooth. Select Enable and Continue. Then turn on location services by pressing Enable and Continue. If location services aren't activated on the device already, you will be automatically redirected to this page, and at the top of the page you will need to press on the toggle button to turn them on. Then press the circle button at the bottom of the page to return to the kiosk home screen and click on the Flipdish app again to continue the process. You will then be shown all the available devices after the kiosk has scanned for them. The device identifier code will start with 3 letters followed by 12 numbers. To make sure this is the correct number, you can look at the back of your card reader to verify this. You must click on the identifier code that corresponds to the code on the back of your card reader to finish the process. This may take up to 15 minutes to complete. Once it is complete, you'll see a pop-up saying successfully connected, and you can click Close. And then click Close again in the top right-hand corner. You will then see the Visa logo is now visible in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, indicating that the card reader has been successfully connected. You can also connect your card reader using a combination of the Flipdish Portal and the kiosk itself. To do this, go to portal.flipdish.com and then follow these instructions. Once you're on the Flipdish Portal homepage, use the icons on the side of the page, scroll down to Sales Channels and then click Kiosks. Then select the kiosk you want to connect your card reader to. Scroll down to Connect Card Reader and click Card Reader Pairing Mode. You will then be asked to enable Bluetooth on your kiosk device. Click OK. Then move back to your Flipdish kiosk. You'll be asked if you would like to connect a card reader. Click Connect Device. Next, you'll have to press Enable on the screen. You will then have to allow the device to turn on Bluetooth. Select the WisePad you wish to connect to the kiosk. A number will appear starting with WPC and a 12-digit number will follow. This number is also on the back of your WisePad, or if you press the top right button on the WisePad once, you will see the WisePad number. Please match the number on the WisePad with the number on the kiosk screen. Physically press the screen with the correlating WPC number. A screen will appear saying connecting devices. This may take up to 15 minutes to connect. To confirm the card reader is connected, please check to see if the Visa symbol is in the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Please then run a test payment. To confirm that the card reader was connected successfully, return to the Flipdish Portal and simply refresh the page. Then again select the kiosk that you connected the card reader to and scroll down, and you'll now see that the WPC number is present. This means that the card reader has been successfully connected. Okay, and finally let's look at adding the printing paper. The first thing you need to do is to release the front panel by pushing the buttons simultaneously on either side of the panel. Next, you push down the small lever to the right of the printing paper compartment and the lid will pop open. Feed the spindle through the new paper roll and ensure that the end of the paper is coming over the top of the paper roll. Then place the paper roll back into the machine and you will hear a click when it's in correctly. Feed the end of the paper over the top of the lid and close it. The machine will then automatically cut the excess paper, and now you can close the front panel. And that's it, you're all set up. We advise that you now place a test order with your kiosk to ensure that everything is up and running before giving access to your customers. Thanks for taking the time to learn about the K2 kiosk, and if you have any questions, contact us on help@flipdish.com or see the description of this video for more helpful links.